For someone who's not familiar with it, how would you explain Forex and the way that you approach it?
JP Bar Podcast.
Honestly, when I'm explaining Forex to a newbie, I relate it to the stock market. That's what a lot of people are familiar with, right, when it comes to trading, investing. So it's very much similar in the fact that you're trading a security, except for it being a corporatization security, you're trading currencies. So foreign exchange is what Forex is short for. Forex is short for foreign exchange.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're simply trading currencies paired against another currency. So the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. And you're trading the fluctuation in the value of that currency. So it's the same as you trade the fluctuation in value of a company, and it's very similar. So that's how I explain to a new guy what foreign exchange is it's really no different than the stock market, the futures market, commodity market. It's just the securities to what you're actually trading is different. It's a currency.
Most people don't understand that there is like a market around that and that you can actually get involved and, trade and profit off that.
It is growing. Like, it's only been since about mid-90s, 95, 98, around there, when it's been getting like really popular in like the retail trading.
Yeah.
It was mainly used by institutions, big banks, right? They were the ones that were dumping the millions of dollars into the markets, and your retail traders, and when I mean retail trader, I mean like you and I, just your average Joe in the market, they were heavily invested into the stock markets, right? And these big Forex traders and commodities traders, you heard about them, but they weren't as well known.
Yeah.
And now I think greatly with social media, and like you said, a lot of the scams or, these guys that are trying to get your money into these auto traders, or a lot of educational platforms now that are marketing their platforms, it's creating that awareness around, Forex, and cryptocurrency is the really big one now because of the digital age. But Forex is there, I think, because it's the barrier to entry with the stock market is so large because you need money. Right? This is simple as like, if you can't really like successfully day trade and live off the market unless you have at least $10,000-$20,000 actively being traded. You need to have a good decent sized account, and that was the barrier to entry for a lot of traders, and that's what I think attracts a lot of people to Forex, because we have leverage, you have lower position sizes, commissions are lower, there's just many more factors to make it easier for a guy to take $500 and jump in the market and start day trading. Whereas with the stock market, not so much, and mainly being commissions, right? Like, for me, if I'm trading a stock, I pay $10 to buy, $10 to sell. Like, so my one stock has to increase a par value of $20 before I break even on that trade.
Yeah.
Which is pretty substantial, right? So that's why with stocks, you got to buy hundreds of stocks at a time, which requires money.
True.
Whereas Forex, you can enter the market with $50, and you could easily double that to 100.
Yes.
You can also lose it just as easy, and that's the thing with Forex, is it's a lot more volatile. So you see that traditional 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital in the first 90 days. It's true.
Yeah.
It really is. And a big reason for that is emotions.
True. Mindset.
Which you see in the stock market, but Forex, the volatility makes your emotions play a little bit more rapidly, and with things moving so fast, that's where you get these new guys getting burnt so quickly. And that also is kind of where the scammy stuff comes from, because people lose their money so quickly in the market, but that's because they're uneducated.
True.
Right? As to what they're actually stepping into.
Yeah, you played yourself, to quote DJ Khaled.
Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
There is that aspect with the stock market where you can buy shares in Apple and you kind of know the product, you know the business, right? And then you can look at it as just a long-term investment. Yep. You buy their shares, expect the company to grow, and then you withdraw in the future. That's a very basic concept to understand. And that, I think, is, besides maybe mutual funds and RRSPs or things through the bank, that is the most commonly made investment to the average person, is doing that kind of long-term, invest in a specific company in the stock market.
And that's now where we're kind of getting into like investing versus trading.
True.
Right? Like, a lot of people get that confused.
Yeah.
And it did take a little bit for me to understand the difference too. I started my career investing. You know, I started in the stock market, I bought X hundred shares, and I held them for months. It didn't allow me to live off my account because, like I said in the beginning, I didn't have that large account to actively day trade it. So I was sitting there weeks on end to make, you know, a couple $100.
Yeah.
And in the retrospect of things, a couple $100 over a couple of weeks isn't very much money. But when you have a larger account, you take in percents, it all leverages out, then you start making money. So trading versus investing, like trading, you're actively getting in and out of the market. You know, that could be within minutes, within seconds, within days, within weeks.
Yep.
You could also have an investing approach with trading. But that's, like you said, with mutual funds, RSPs, traditional stock market, you see people investing their money, right? They're working their 9 to 5, and then they go buy a couple shares of Microsoft or Apple or whatever company's booming at the time, whatever they're hearing about on the street, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, for their retirement, right? They're buying mutual funds or RSPs. That's investing.
Yeah.
I do invest. I believe everyone should have an investment portfolio. But my 9 to 5 is trading. And that's where a lot of people kind of get confused, because trading is not passive income.
Right.
It can be if you're placing that trade and you go on your day and it's doing its thing in the background. But if you're sitting there day trading at your computer, you're actively making money. You're working. You know, you'll have a lot of people, oh, I don't work, I trade. Well, no, you're still trading some time for money, but you're also trading money to money. You're trading time for money, but you're using also money to leverage. So what you're making per hour is variant. It's up to you, right? But you are still quote unquote working. The Forex market daily market cap is about $6 trillion. Your New York Stock Exchange trades about 23 billion a day. So your foreign exchange market is much larger, much more, I guess, piece of the pie to take, right? So that kind of like, that was my first instinct, is like, oh, there's bigger market cap, right? So there's more money floating around, there must be more opportunity. Well, yes and no, because now you got that volatility that comes into play, right? Because now, like I said, you have a lot of big banks that play with Forex. So you have very smart people with lots of money, right? And I myself am a regular Joe with a little bit of money. So there's that advantage to them having more money, more education, more resources, more years in the market, right? They understand all this. So Forex was really interesting to me because, low barrier entry, huge market, and I could get started with as little as like $100.
Right.
I mean, I don't recommend that, but I could, right? And that's what I did, and I got burnt. But I was able to actually get in there, start actively trading, clicking buttons, actually get in the market, start learning. Whereas with the stock market, I couldn't even get in because the commissions were too high.
Right.
So I'm sitting there watching the market, not actively trading it.
Yes.
So that's what I really liked about the Forex. And then honestly, I just came actively trading it every day. I became very familiar with it. I came to understand it more. I started moving my money over from the stock market into Forex just because I needed more capital to day trade.
Right.
Soon enough, I was building accounts over in Forex and I had nothing left in my stock portfolio. And I guess I'm a Forex trader, right?
JP Bar Podcast.